Hello and welcome to the first lesson. In this lesson, we're going to talk about what are large language models because that is what ChatGPT is under the hood. Then we'll talk about what is ChatGPT. Then ChatGPT gets integrated with many different apps. So we'll see the rise of AI powered apps and see ChatGPT in everywhere. Then we'll talk about the practice of tool mastery, a principle that we want to teach, and then we'll talk about open source models. Let's get started. So what is a large language model? You've been interacting with them if you've ever used Google. So basically, as you start typing a query or searching Google, it starts suggesting words that are statistically likely you're going to be looking for. So most likely people are looking for Apple Pay, but then less likely people are also looking for Zelle. That is a large language model. It's just predicting the next letter or word as you type a text, and it's trained on a large amount of data. So in that large amount of data, when you write the query or question, Hannah is a, it looks in the database and says, probability, statistically, sister probably is the most likely word that would be come up next. Then next to that would be friend, and then marketer, and then not as common but possible is comedian. And so that's what it's doing underneath the hood. It's predicting the next letter or word based on a large amount of data that is trained on. So, how do you train a large language model? Basically, you take a large amount of text, let's say all the Wikipedia entries in text, put it in the model, train it, say good answer, bad answer. I'm highly simplifying. And then you get a trained model that you could do specific tasks such as answering questions, doing sentiment analysis. Sentiment analysis is like, what is the sentiment of this email? And it'll read this customer email and be like, oh, the customer is pissed off because the widget that you sold them was broken, so they're very angry. And that's a sentiment analysis. It could extract information. Say you feed it a bunch of PDFs, and then you could ask it a question like an oracle, saying, I'm a lawyer, write me a court case based on all these PDF documents, write me the opening statement for the hearing. I'm not a lawyer, but that's how you could train it on a large amount of data and then extract information from it. So what is ChatGPT? ChatGPT is a large language model developed by OpenAI, and you can have text-based conversations with it. And it's just like a little chatbot, very simple. You can interact with it through the browser. And that way you're not downloading any software. There's nothing to install. It onboarded like 1 million users in like 5 days. It's like the most popular app that's ever been downloaded. It's insane. Then you can also interact with ChatGPT without the browser, so developers can build apps using the API. API is just think of it like a phone line from one computer to another computer, and an API, one computer can make a phone call to the next computer and say, hey, can you give me this data? And then the computer on the other end is like, yeah, here's the data you asked for. So that's what basically an API is. Very simple. So developers could build their own models. Khan Academy has their own chatbot in their web app, and then they use an API to make calls to ChatGPT so that students are interacting with ChatGPT 4 in a chatbot directly in Khan Academy's website. So like a digital university, they get their own private tutor. Very fascinating. And then ChatGPT technology can also be put directly into products such as Microsoft Bing. If you use Bing now, it uses ChatGPT 4. It has access to the internet. Then you have Microsoft GitHub Copilot. So if you're a developer, rather than writing code from scratch, you would write pretty much the human code as far as what you want the command to be. Write me a HTML website that says hello world, and then it will spit out that code for you. And then as a developer, you would, what I call, take it the final mile. You would do the tweaks until the final end. And so those are what are these? 1, 2, 3 different ways that you can interact with ChatGPT fundamentally. So then companies or businesses have put ChatGPT into their own products or SaaS products. So fundamentally, this is what I want to just show. Don't get overwhelmed. You'll see many different apps. They'll come up with specific roles like help copywriters write better copy. You'll see here to help you create images. I use Midjourney. You'll see writing. There's ChatGPT. And then they're going to integrate, if you've used Notion, they're also integrating ChatGPT and Notion. Basically, if you master one tool, unlock the power of one, master ChatGPT, and get things done. Don't get overwhelmed with all the different apps and new app of the week or new app of the hour, basically. We practice mastery over one tool. Then you get so much done, so much like accomplished. And so that's why we want you to master one tool. Then you could go and do any other app, and it's basically the same thing. It saves you a lot of money from subscriptions. Lastly, I want to touch on open source large language models because the ones I've talked about, Bing, then you have Google Bars, they're all private. They're also censored. They're also biased. And so you're like, why would you want an open source model? In the future, these large language models are becoming cost affordable, effective. So you can now download your own open source model. These are used with commercial licenses. You can see Apache, MIT, OpenRails. So based on the commercial license, you could use ChatGPT, like similar clones, not the best, but similar to. But then you could use them for your own. If you're a professional, if you're a business owner, you could create tailored apps. And then you also get transparency in the model. Your data is also protected because we also teach in the course. We have a privacy section there, and so that's why you probably would like want a private censored, or you want an open source large language model because you practice privacy protection, you want to avoid censorship, and you're striving for a non-biased AI system to give you answers to really help you and just not give it in a biased way. And so that's it for the first lesson to go over what is ChatGPT and large language models. And I'll see you in the next lesson. Thank you.